So I just spent 80 minutes watching my Bulldogs get absolutely torn apart by the Roosters. Latrell Mitchell destroying us, the rest of the Roosters destroying us. I was fuming, but nothing got me fuming more than this New South Wales side that I just saw. I thought at least if I'm going to watch the Bulldogs lose, afterwards I can have a look at that New South Wales side and I can at least be pleased a little bit. I thought the saving grace today was going to be the New South Wales side. I was banking on them producing a pretty decent side, me being happy, making a nice little video here, not complaining about too much, but no, here we are. I'm complaining again. Now guys, as you can tell, I haven't uploaded in about a week. I've been quite sick, but I've got to tell you, nothing has made me more sick than seeing this New South Wales side. It made me want to vomit. Now this video here, it's going to be a little bit of a first impression sort of video. Obviously, I know who's in the side, as you can tell with how bloody disgusted I am with it. But I just wanted to go through my quick thoughts on it. I'll do a more detailed video on it tomorrow probably, but I just wanted to give you a quick thoughts on it. But I've gone through it quickly and I've wrote down some pros and cons of this New South Wales side. There's not many pros, I'll tell you that much. But yeah, I thought it'd be cool if I went through and I gave a few quick comments on this side. Let's go ahead and get into it. Now, I've been totally shitting on the New South Wales side to start off with, but let's start off with the pros. Let's switch this up a little bit. So a big pro for me, Dale Finucane. I'm so happy he's in the side. I think it's well deserved. I think he should have been there years ago. He's finally got his chance. He's off the bench this time. I would have been happy to see him start. Daniel Safidi's got the starting gig over him. I don't get it, but whatever. But I'm just happy to see Big Dale in the side. It doesn't matter where, just as long as he's in the side, I'm pretty happy. I think my happiness that Finucane's been selected is shared amongst a lot of people. I think you'll find that most people wanted Dale Finucane in the side, so thank God Freddie's actually got one selection right. Secondly, Tom Trbojevic back in the side. Obviously, he's in the centres this time. He hasn't played centre for New South Wales. I think he's played centre for Australia, though. While ideally, I would prefer to have him on the wing at centre. It's just as good, I guess. But yeah, I'm just glad he's back in the side. He is just a winner. He's a really good player. Very skillful. He did a job for us last year. He was very, very good. And I think he's the type of player who steps up at Origin level. So I'm pretty happy to see him back. Obviously, there's always some question marks over his fitness. I mean, he's played pretty well for Manly the last few weeks, but this year he sort of comes back for a few weeks and then he ends up doing his hamstring again. So if history is anything to go by, he's primed to pull a hamstring anytime soon. So that's not good, but seriously, I think he'll actually be very good for us. Another positive for me is the fact that Jack Wyden isn't on the bench. I think him coming on the 60-minute mark, it's just too hard. Just that utility role, unless there is like an injury early on, it's kind of wasted. And Jack White coming on the 60-minute mark, it was just a big no-no for me. Not particularly because of him, just I think anybody who's in that utility spot would have been quite wasted. But the fact they brought him on at 5'8" and went, here you go play in the halves, go out and get it. It just doesn't work. So I'm pretty happy to see he's not on the bench there. I will say though, doesn't mean I'm happy with him in the centres, but I'll get to that later. Wade Graham, I know he's only played a few games since coming back, but he's actually looked really, really good. In previous years when he's played for Origin, I haven't been particularly impressed with him, but I just think with the lack of forwards New South Wales seem to have all of a sudden, I do think he's a pretty good selection. Obviously, he's played at Origin level, he's won a premiership, he's quite versatile as well, so he can play that utility role. It was kind of my reasoning for Ryan Madison possibly being in the side as well. You know, he can play back row. He's not someone you need to force on in a 5'8" position or anything. He can play second row predominantly or lock or whatever, but if there's an injury, he can shift into the halves as well, and you can kind of rotate the side around a bit if there's any injuries to the back as well. So I think Wade Graham is there just due to his versatility. I do like Wade Graham. I think he's playing quite good. Hopefully no injuries for him, and hopefully he's up to speed for Origin too. Speaking of Wade Graham, he's on the bench, and I've got to say I do like the bench a lot more going into this game. Obviously a lot comes down to how Freddie uses the bench, because even in game one, I guess the bench wasn't that bad. It's just how he managed them was just atrocious. Fingers crossed he does manage them a lot better. I mean, it is Brad Fittler, so he probably won't, but yeah, I just like that we're a lot bigger, a lot more size to the bench. Tarek Sims on there, another big body. We have Wade Graham as the utility. I know Jack Whiten's a big body, but Wade Graham is bigger. We've got Cameron Murray to be our sort of smaller guy with good footwork, a good motor. So I'm happy with him there. And then we have Big Dale Finucane. So we have Finucane and Tarek Sims as the big body guys. We have Wade Graham, a back rower as well. And then we have Cameron Murray, who's also a lock back rower. So in my opinion, I think they've hit it out of the park in terms of the bench. So good job, Freddie. You finally nailed something. Now we move on to the part I think you're all keen to see me talk about. I'm going to talk about the cons of this New South Wales side, and there's a lot of them, trust me. First off, I'm just going to say, I think what everyone's thinking, what the fuck, where's Latrell Mitchell? Honestly, this is the most stupidest decision I've ever seen in like the history of New South Wales State of Origin. Don't worry about all the Mitchell Pearce selections and that. Latrell Mitchell getting dropped for this game, I just can't believe it. I cannot believe it at all. He had one bad game. last year, he was outstanding for us. He was outstanding for the Roosters in the final series. Even against the Bulldogs today, he was outstanding. I don't understand this. He had one bad game. Now, I know in Origin, you can't just have one bad game, but, I mean, you're bringing in Blake Ferguson, you're bringing in Jack Whiten, who threw the intercept, which ended up losing us the game, essentially. They've also dropped Josh Morris, who was arguably our best back last game. I don't get this. I don't get it at all. Brad Fittler's talking about he needs experience for this game. He's brought in James Maloney, but he's dropped Josh Morris. It doesn't make sense to me at all. You drop Josh Morris, who's done it before at Origin level, and you bring in Blake Ferguson, who's done absolutely nothing at Origin level. Not only that, but Tom Trbojevic has never played centre for New South Wales. He's played wing though. I figured you just slot him on the wing, you keep Morris in the centre, you're good to go. But no, let's bring in Blake Ferguson. Let's bring in the guy who didn't even turn up for the preseason training thing. Oh, and let's drop Latrell Mitchell because he's got an attitude problem. Let's bring in Blake Ferguson though. Also, what's going on with James Maloney? Literally the whole talk from Brad Fittler was how, oh yeah, James Maloney and Nathan Cleary, they're a shit combo. You know, he wasn't very impressed with them last year at Origin level, hasn't been impressed with them at Clubland, they need to step up, yada yada yada. They haven't done that, and yet they're still being picked. Poor Cody Walker, it's been hung out to dry. Jack Whiten came on and played 5'8". Brad Fittler said it was the plan for him to come on and play 5'8". Now all of a sudden he finds himself in the centres, a position he hasn't played in, I don't know how long. I don't know when was the last time Jack Whiten played centre. Then you move on to the forwards. Now David Klemmer is a huge loss. Like, he is our best forward by far in my opinion, but Jacob Safiti, is it Daniel or Jacob? I think it's Jacob. I don't even know. How the hell has he been picked? I know we didn't have a lot to work with, but come on, there's got to be someone better than Safiti. It's like, did we even learn anything from game one? I mean, we picked Payne Haas on the bench. I know Payne Haas has played nowhere near the amount of games Safiti has, but Safiti's not exactly experienced, and he hasn't been setting the world on fire, let's be honest. And we've thrown him into the starting proposition for State of Origin. What are you doing, Freddie? Just play Finucane. Start Finucane, please. Also, this selection just goes against what Fittler's been saying. It seems he picks and chooses when he wants to use the, oh yeah, we need experience card. With Maloney, he's going, yeah, I need experience, need Maloney in. But then in the back line, he's dropped Josh Morris. He hasn't gone with any experienced forwards in, yeah, Campbell Gillards or Matt Pryors or anyone like that. Safiti hasn't even played a finals game, for God's sake. What? Oh, this is baffling. Oh, also, did I mention Latrell Mitchell? Oh yeah, I did mention that. Yep. Obviously, yeah. Still, I can't believe it. What the fuck? Anyway, guys, those are my quick thoughts on the Origin team. As you can tell, I'm not exactly thrilled with this New South Wales side. Leave in the comment section below, what are your thoughts on this side? I think it's atrocious. Now, if everything goes to plan, I mean, everything hasn't been going to plan as of late for me, but if everything goes to plan, I'll be doing a video with NRL, in my opinion, Oliver. I'll be doing a video with him tomorrow, talking about this New South Wales side more in depth, so stay tuned for that. But if you did happen to enjoy this video, because it's just about over, make sure you go ahead and smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Also, make sure to follow me on Twitter, Instagram is on the screen right now. It's Mr. Luke on YT. My Facebook page is also in the description below. I've been posting on there a little bit more. Also, make sure to go and add me on Snapchat, Mr. Luke on YT. Same as what's on the screen right now. Right here, guys, that's the end of the video. Please, New South Wales, just whatever. I'm done pleading. We're going to lose. See you guys. Bye.